Alright, YouTube. So, I ended up getting these 15-inch speakers. I got two of them. And the one works perfectly fine. The other one was making a rattle noise when it was playing. And now, this is a common problem from what I understand with some kickers. By the way, this is a kicker CVX15, a pair. Dual voice coil 4 ohm. When you pushed on the speaker, you couldn't hear anything, no noise at all. As soon as you put power to it, it would rattle. One coil didn't really seem like it rattled. I mean, you could still hear some noise. When I hooked up the other coil, it rattled like crazy. So I was thinking that maybe the voice coil came unwound or something like that. But like I said, pushing on it, you couldn't hear anything. So I hooked up a voltmeter to both coils. Both are reading 4 ohms exactly. So I'm like, well, that's weird. So I wonder what it is. So I ended up taking it apart. In case you're wondering what the inside of the basket looks like, I mean, nothing special. Now, what I did was I carefully took a flathead screwdriver. I got tape down there, so it's not going to sit all the way in, but took a flathead screwdriver and just kind of pried around the edge and kind of scraped it. You know what I mean? So, like, just slowly scraping the surround off. So once I got the surround done, I came down here. And what did I do with my pick tool? Huh. Okay. My pick vanished into thin air. It was laying here. Well, anyway, I took a pick tool and kind of poked it. Now you see how the glue is right here. I poked in and then went inward because it was a 90-degree pick. Poked in and just kind of scraped it up. Oops. And went around the whole basket. And these parts here were a pain in the ass. I couldn't really get them off. So I ended up cutting them, but they seem like they hold solder pretty well, so when I go to put it back together, I'm just going to solder them back on. I'm going to take them off, solder them on, and then reconnect them. But anyway, back to the problem here. If you look at the coil, even like right here, it seems kind of distorted. I'm not really sure what the distortion is, but right here is where the problem was. Now you see, you go to any other spot of the coil and you can't move the windings. But right here, I guess maybe the epoxy, maybe the speaker had gotten enough heat and the epoxy wore off in this general area. So what my plans or my intentions are is to take some epoxy and go all the way around, because I know when they put these coils together at the factories, they use epoxy to hold them in place while they're winding them. My only concern is if the coil underneath is doing the same thing, which it probably is. But anyway, so I'm just saying that if you're experiencing a rattling noise coming from your kickers, this is probably what's going on, and if you don't catch it early enough, it probably will unwind and make a freaking rat's nest out of your gap. I forget what that area is called right now, but so yeah, I'm gonna try and see if I can get some epoxy in there just to tighten it up a little bit, because the speaker still works. I mean, it still plays fine. Just makes a lot of freaking noise while doing it. So if I can get everything to sit still, and you know, the way that I took the speaker apart, everything should still be salvageable and usable. I know people out there would say, oh well, you already got it apart, you should just recone it. Well, I'm working off of a poor man's budget here, so I'm going to clean up all this crap, epoxy this, and then clean out the gap and everything, and you know, put it back in and see how it sounds. I'll do a updated video, let you know if it worked or not.